Drilling down deeper. Pembina Institute has issued a new report, Drilling Down Oil and Gas Jobs in Transition. Pembina Institute argues that the perception of the oil and gas sector and the economic benefits of oil and gas production is now likely to be outdated. The employment levels in Canada's oil and gas sector never recovered from the global oil price crash of 2014. Given the pace of the international energy transition, they expect oil and gas sector job loss to be exacerbated in the years ahead. There are major future employment opportunities associated with the decarbonization of Canada's oil and gas production and renewables. Pembina advocates for more regulation to create those jobs. Pembina Institute claims the right policies and support for workers could result in tens of thousands of clean economy jobs added by 2030, reaching hundreds of thousands by 2050, far outstripping jobs lost from the oil and gas sector. By the way, the 30-year foreign-funded and influenced tar sands campaign is not mentioned in relation to the oil and gas sector's decline in employment. Friends of Science Society is drilling down deeper with insights from retired energy economist Robert Lyman. First, the major direct economic benefits of oil and gas exploration and production are primarily in terms of income, investment, productivity improvement, and export earnings, not employment. The sector is capital intensive, not labor intensive. Second, the indirect effects in terms of employment are very large and spread right across the Canadian economy, not just in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Third, in response to lower international oil prices and the relentless attacks of green government policies, the proportion of revenues from oil and gas production that has been reinvested has declined. But the industry has been very skillful in lowering the costs of production, so that actual production in Canada and elsewhere has continued to increase considerably. Robert Lyman has documented this in a number of articles. There's just no transition. Read Broken Promises, False Narratives. How long can the net zero charade go on? Read Beyond Oil, Not Likely. Read Global Energy Demand, All-Time High, a summary of 2025 Statistical Review of World Energy. Fourth, the employment benefits of non-hydrocarbon energy, and especially renewables, are far less than claimed by their supporters. High electricity prices have decimated Ontario's industry, as they have in Europe. For as long as Statistics Canada has been keeping track of the employment associated with the clean energy sector, a misnomer if there ever was one, it has stayed at 3% of employment in Canada. It's not increasing. Pembina misleads, and here we see on X that this fellow was laid off and sought to get a job. He was told to take a course of 4 days on promising green jobs. Didn't help him at all. And Heather Exner-Pirot of Macdonald-Laurier Institute says that the Pembina Institute says job potential is more promising in renewable energy than oil and gas, but jobs in renewables are so few, it doesn't even have its own North American industry classification system, a code that is used to categorize businesses by their economic activity. Finally, Robert Lyman makes the point that the oil and gas industry is a major source of revenues to governments, while the renewables industry is the beneficiary of enormous and ever-increasing subsidies from taxpayers and electricity ratepayers, Without subsidies, there would be almost no wind and solar, and certainly no biomass. One source of energy is economic, and the other is not. As you can see, when you drill down deeper, Pembina Institute is engaging in magical thinking. Unfortunately, these are dangerous policy appeals, which, if adopted, will impoverish taxpayers and lead to Canadians being left jobless in the cold and the dark. Join us in the race from net zero. Get the facts, get our book. Order your copy today from Friends of Science